And as the trailer just showed, this day's is Need for Speed.
Yeah, this is episode 3 of 5 for our in-depth look at E3 top picks.
Now, I am kind of looking forward to Need for Speed because as I mentioned on Sunday, I do have a thing for the Need for Speed games. But all I could think while I was watching the trailer is, this isn't Need for Speed, this is Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's supposed to be a gameplay trailer that you've just seen. Obviously there's cutscenes involved in it as well. All I can get from it is it's probably going to be one of the missions heavily involving cutscenes. I am a Need for Speed fan. I've got all Need for Speed for PlayStation 1, 2 and 3. And to be fair, it's probably the only car game that I actually play. I don't even play Grand Theft Auto.
I've got Grand Theft Auto 5.
I have it for the PlayStation 3, I think.
I have it for the PS4, but yeah.
But to be fair, I've not played it much. And it's not one of the games I've unpacked since moving to the new house.
Yeah.
So it's currently in storage. But Need for Speed has kind of been the only car game, racing sort of game I've kind of gone into. I've never been a fan of Gran Turismo or anything else. But yeah, I've got to agree, the trailer does seem a lot like Fast and the Furious franchise rather than Need for Speed. Don't get me wrong, it still looks good. Yeah. The graphics especially, yeah, they look brilliant. The cutscenes look brilliant. I'm interested to see how the car handling and everything comes along with it and what everything entails.
How skilled will you have to be to pull off some of the things that he does in that?
Yeah, obviously that must be a developer that's done that gameplay trailer. That's not going to be, right, you start the game and you're going to be able to do that. You're going to have to gain skills, develop your skills and everything else.
Not just play it, so it'll be the physicality of pulling off.
Yeah, that's
both joysticks and the accelerator and brake at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. I mean, that actual mission that you've just seen, there is a lot of weaving in and out of cars that have been crashed into by the truck. Then obviously you've got to try and keep the enforcers off.
I mean, the further the cutscenes seem intermingled with the gameplay itself was cool.
Yeah, now if that's actually part of the mission, that's really going to mess me up. Because I'll be driving, it'll cutscene, and then suddenly I'm somewhere else. I'm like, oh my god, and I will crash about 50 times on that.
Yeah.
I've got to say, even the developer, when they were filming that, once a cutscene's come in, he's gone through that, or she's gone through that several times. They've not just got that gameplay footage in one go. I don't care how good you are, and even if you design the games, you're going to crash there. If they're doing them cutscenes in between gameplay on the mission, you're going to crash. I mean, fair enough, part of Need for Speed is crashing all over the place,
but it's also souping up your cars and actual races.
Yeah, to be fair, I tend to do a lot of crashing on Need for Speed. I'm not good at racing games. It's not my cup of tea. Like I say, I do like the Need for Speed because of all the parts into it. I mean, the first Need for Speed I played was Need for Speed Underground, and I played that in Germany. And that must have been...
I was still at secondary school when the second one came out. For PS2.
Yeah, so... To be fair, I don't think I was playing it on the PS, I think I was on the GameCube.
Well, it was 2003-ish.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a long time ago. And... yeah, like I said, I've got all of them for PS1, 2 and 3. I had some for the GameCube, I got rid of my GameCube, but I think this one, if it's going to be as good as it's looking, I think this is one that's probably going to get me back into the gaming, back into Need for Speed. To be fair, it'll probably make me dig out the older ones that I've got, and I'll probably start from scratch and go through them all, get any that I'm missing. To be fair, I think the one thing I can take from E3 this year, I'm going to be skint next year.
Yeah, definitely taking that away from that.
Yeah, and also I need a bigger house. And if my leg ever gets fixed, I'm going to need a really big room for VR.
Oh God.
either that, or you're going to see the first ever person to try and do Fallout 4 VR in a wheelchair.
That should be interesting.
Or in a Zimmer frame. That'd be funny. Yeah, holding myself up with a Zimmer frame whilst trying to do VR, whilst trying to run away from a deathclaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we seem to be getting off topic.
Yeah.
We seem to have exhausted the amount of conversation we can say about Need for Speed.
To be fair, yeah, for that trailer, it doesn't really show all that much.
No, there may be more on it in an entertainment section somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
But for now, we can't really say much more because
Yeah.
there wasn't much more announced with it.
No, obviously, as we get more sneak peeks, more gameplay trailers, we'll bring it in future monthly entertainments. I mean, it is coming out this year, so you'll probably find we'll do a review on it as part of one of our entertainment sections, especially, like I say, it is going to be one that I am going to go out and get. If you're a fan of Need for Speed, I'd say, yeah, this is probably going to be a game that you want to look at. If you've never really played the Need for Speed line of games and you've never really been interested in them, I'd probably say
It's amazing. You can hit casual gamers and the hardcore racing gamers with it.
yeah. I'd say this is probably one that's been brought out for the hardcore Need for Speed fans.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, because obviously on the trailer that you've just seen, it doesn't give much away. Doesn't give much, though it's called a gameplay trailer. It doesn't give much of the gameplay away. Doesn't give much of anything away, to be fair. So for today's episode, I know it's a short one. We do apologise for that. We felt the need to do a Need for Speed one, even though there wasn't much to say about it. It's just, it has been one of our top 5 picks. Yeah. So obviously during this top 5, there's going to be games that we've decided to showcase that you guys probably think, nah, I found better games. If you do, by all means, the channel is called The Discussion for a reason. Let us know in the comments below or on any of the social media, and who knows, we may do an in-depth
look at some
other games in the coming weeks. When we learn more, you let us know, and we'll do it. But until tomorrow night, I've been Ian.
I'm Luke.
See you later.
Ciao.
Bye bye.